Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video by Jimmy. I've recently started trying out Cinema 4D and over After Effects, doing an introduction to my video so it doesn't look and start so boring. Now it's not the best, don't mock me for it, but it's just a start and the beginning to hopefully something a bit better. Anyway, today I mainly wanted to go down a list of my 85 characters and talk about the class changes with 5.04 or in the beta patch, which a lot of you may have already tested. Even I have tested in the beta, but I mainly wanted to do it on the retail because it's not going to be changed anymore, or not anytime soon anyway. And before I get started with the talent trees and the glyphs and the new abilities, I just wanted to quickly show you this mount. This mount comes with the limited edition version, or the deluxe digital version of the game. The mount looks really cool. I freaking love it. It's probably my best mount. Another thing, feature you want to know, for those of you who do not check MMO Champion or similar websites, that the achievement points have become account wide. So now I have 7.3k achievement points. The same goes for mounts. I've got 80 mounts. Same goes for little companions, little pets, and etc. You also get one pet with the digital deluxe, but it just looks exactly the same as the perky pug. So I really wouldn't be too fussed about it, and there's a lot of pets, oh my god. Anyway, to start with, we're going to go through the talent tree quickly. Right, so we've got level 15, we've got Night Stalker, we've got Subterfuge, and we've got Shadow Focus. Right, we're talking about both PVP and PVE scenario here. To begin with, we've got Night Stalker. Now this is in general a really good ability, passive ability, sorry. Increase your movement speed while stealth by 20%. This is both good in PvE and PvP. PvP from ability, getting across an arena quickly, getting across a battleground quickly, getting even world PvP, moving around quickly in stealth. I mean, sometimes extra movement, whether if you didn't have it, you might have been so a certain range closer to the enemy that they might see you. So the movement speed can seriously save your ass, especially from getting away from things. So if someone tries to get you out of stealth because they saw you, you might just go out of range. PvE wise, it helps you get closing in enemies quicker, so you can DPS as much as you can. With that in consideration, you also get increased damage while stealth by 25%. Now this isn't a humongous bonus, but it still is good for when you want to open with an ambush, a backstab, a Garrett especially. Great for PvP, great for PvE. Now that's one thing you want to really consider for both. Secondly, you've got Subterfuge. Your stealth breaks 3 seconds after dealing or receiving hostile actions rather than doing so immediately. Now this is primarily a PvP ability in my opinion, because you've got if someone attacks you and it's like, oh crap, they're going to break my stealth. Well no, they haven't. You've got 3 seconds to get to their arse, stun them, silence them, Garrett, cheap shot, whatever, sap, doesn't matter. You've got 3 seconds to do that. Also, if you, let's see, open with an ambush, you would then have 3 seconds afterwards where they still can't see you. Now this is a great feature because you can ambush, and then after the global cooldown you can possibly open with a Garrett or a cheap shot. This gives you such a good advantage because you can stick out at like 10, 20, 30k damage before they even get to see you. Great feature, really good ability. Lastly, we've got Shadow Focus. Abilities no longer cost energy while you're stealthed. Now, I believe that is the least favourite of the 3 in level 15 talent point, because I mean, what uses energy? You've got Garrett, you've got cheap shot, and you've got sap. Now if you get rid of that, you get rid of Subterfuge, meaning if you open, you're over opened, you're out of stealth. Meaning if you've sapped, you've cheap shotted, you've Garrett, it won't cost anything. But losing out on Subterfuge or Night Stalker, I don't see that being worth it for either PvE or PvP. So avoid Shadow Focus, in my opinion. I believe it's really not that worth it. At level 30 you've got Deadly Throw, Nerve Strike, Combat Readiness. Now we all know how Combat Readiness works, except it's not a default ability now, it's actually, You get where I'm coming from, it's actually a talent point. Now this is combat readiness was fighting over Cloak of Shadows, as in you could only use one at one time. Now as I was looking at earlier, which I'll quickly state now, is that on glyphs you can see on Cloak of Shadows you can reduce your physical damage by 40% whilst it's active. Now it's active for a period of 5 seconds, so in my opinion I'd avoid that. I'd avoid it if you can. If you believe the other two are better, I'd avoid it. But the only difference is that it lasts for 20 seconds, and wow, that's a lot longer. I mean, it might not seem as great because you have to stack it up, but if someone's attacking you and it takes 10 seconds to stack up to 5 points, you still got 10 seconds left of defense from physical damage. But the good thing about Cloak of Shadows is not only is it physical damage instantly 40%, it's also immune to CC and other magic damage such as dots and etc. Anyway, you can get that if you prefer to. It is on a 2-minute cooldown, same as Cloak of Shadows. Now, Nerve Strike, successful kidney shot or cheap shot also reduce the damage dealt by the target by 50%. Now this is strongly a PvP ability. You will never get this in PvE. If someone gets it in PvE, I will seriously, if you get that for PvE, I'll seriously consider thinking why you're playing games, because it just doesn't make sense. You're not going to kidney shot or cheap shot a mob or a boss, especially a boss, because it won't bloody work. When you open on an enemy or you use it on an enemy, they deal 50% less damage for 6 seconds after you cheap shot or kidney shot. Now this is an amazing ability, because when you use both of them, you intend to do as much damage as you can. Now when they exit their kidney shot or cheap shot, they plan to dish out as much damage as they can, because most people save their trinket for a rogue's blind, so they would not have used their trinket on kidney shot, so they would want to dish out as much damage as they can as soon as they exit that CC. With a reduced damage, it completely counters the whole idea behind it. So a great ability for PvP. If you feel Cloak of Shadows is enough defense for you, I'd go for Nerve Strike. Deadly Foe, I would say it's primarily the PvE thing for that bar there. It interrupts, which is the primary thing. It slows, which can come helpful here and there for both PvP and PvE. It does, I mean, it's the only PvE thing in that line, but you can use it for PvP. The only problem being is that it uses combo points, which is okay, but if it means saving your ass because you interrupted them or you slowed them down, I mean, it can be worth it. But reducing their damage by 50% or reduce damage by 50%, they both reduce the damage you take by 50%, whilst Deadly Throw on the other hand would simply interrupt something or slow someone and still blow all your combo points. So I wouldn't avoid that in PvP completely. Now for PvE, you can get it if you like, because if someone doesn't interrupt, you got it as a backup. You also got it as a little DPS increase if you're not next to the boss. I think it's quite a nice ability to have. Yeah, I would recommend getting it if you can. Right, next bit. Cheat Death, Leech and Poison, Elusiveness. Elusiveness, I would strongly recommend that for PvE. Don't get anything else, I wouldn't recommend it. That simply for PvE, simple. Reason behind, I'll show you now. Doesn't have a cooldown. Reduces your damage taken by AoE by 50%, and with that up, reduces your damage taken on overall by 30% for 5 seconds. Now if you're running from something, you're taking damage from something, oh, I'm not using my energy for anything, I'm running from the boss, 30% reduced damage, it's beast. Oh no, I'm taking damage again. Oh no, I'm taking damage again. Oh no, I'm taking damage again. Oh god, what am I to do? Oh, it's an amazing ability, both for PvP and PvE, but strongly for PvE. I mean, you can, if you're not in mid rotation and you have to spare energy, I mean, you're gonna save your healers so much effort. I mean, you can spam it. That is strongly, it's constant. I would not get cheat death over that in any way. Cheat death is simply situational. It's under 10% health, so oh no, I'm under 10% health, the healers have a chance to save me. But if you're going below 10% health, there's a good chance the raid is already wiped. So PVE, instantly elusiveness, you can get leech and poison. Now the reason behind this, because I believe, let me just quickly check, you can actually get leech and poison with deadly poison at the same time. Let me double check this. Yes, you can. And the reason this is so great is because leech and poison does damage as well as deadly poison. Now the weird thing about this is that you're meant to only have one lethal and one non-lethal. You can have deadly poison as lethal and non-lethal as leeching, and leeching still does damage and heals you. So that's a great feature for PvE as well. Not for PvP. Now the reason I say not for PvP is because you can't have a grippling poison or something on those lines. You're gonna want to slow someone in PvP. You need that slow. It's a necessity. You will want that slow. So overall, I believe elusiveness for PvE, cheat death for PvP, leech and poison, you can think about using it for PvE if you'd like. I mean, crippling poison can come in handy when you're trying to slow something, but it's your choice. If your raid is finding it struggling to keep alive, then get elusiveness. If you find DPS just isn't cutting it, get the leech and poison, get the extra damage, it's worth it. Besides, it still heals you, and with a shiv you can heal 5% of your total health, so it's worth it. Next bar, this is a no-brainer, preparation, instant, having 2 times of sprint, vanish, cloak of shadows, evasion and dismantle. Now if you avoid combat readiness and get that cloak of shadows glyph, you have 2 of cloak of shadows. So I mean, use cloak of shadows, use preparation, and it comes off cooldown. Use cloak of shadows again, and then 2 minutes later you have it back again, and preparation has another 3 minutes to go. Then 2 minutes later you have it again. Then after 1 minute you can use it again to get it off, and it's repetitive. You can have cloak of shadows up quite a bit with sprint, evasion, vanish, dismantle. Actually, it's great for both PvE and PvP. I'd still recommend it for both. I mean, sometimes shadow step can be more beneficial. Really, shadow step is one of the best ones as well. Burst of speed out of these 2 is probably the least favourite. I mean, it increases your damage just like it does shadow step for 2 seconds more and gets you out of movement impairing effects. Now personally, I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, yeah, movement impairing effects can be annoying, but yeah, it could change at level 90, but personally preparation is the main thing for both PvP and PvE at the moment. It might change. I mean, some specs might prefer shadow step, such as combat, never used to have it, so we'll see what happens. Next we've got prey on the weak, paralytic poison, dirty tricks. Now I've thought about these so little because it's so obvious. I'll quickly show you something with dirty tricks. Your gouge and blind no longer have an energy cost and no longer break from damage and dealt by your poison and bleed effects. Now the fact that it has no energy cost is pretty cool, considering blind never had an energy cost before, but now they've reapplied it. It's quite annoying, but still it's an option. But you can also get, 1 second, see if I can find it. There's that one, for example. Your blind ability also removes all damage over the time effects from the target. You can get that to avoid getting this entirely. Now you think, yeah, so why would you get a blind if we can get gouge and blind in 1 talent point? Well, the reason behind it is because gouge, even if it was interrupted, it wouldn't matter. Now the reason most people use gouge is to interrupt something, stop someone from doing something, or give you just a second to get a breather in. The extra second of gouge is not worth saving for a talent point. Personally, I don't believe so. Blind, now it says no longer have an energy cost, yeah, and no longer break from damage. Now you can get the glyph if you like, but if you don't get the glyph, there's a strong chance that your blind might be broken. But the main thing about blind is that most people trinket it, so if the person doesn't trinket it before your poisons break it, then you're either unlucky or they literally washed out for it. So you can get the glyph for that, but I wouldn't get the talent point. Paralytic poison, decent, it stuns the target. This is not PvE, this is only PvP. It can snare the target if you use Shiv, which is very good because it's an instant cast. Let's see if we can quickly test it out for you guys. If we bring this to our bars. Now what it is it has 5 stacks, and when you hit the top stacks, by the looks of it, it starts to... Oh, it's beginning to apply more. And there we go. They're stunned now for 4 seconds. Really not worth it. Not worth it. It takes too long to stack up. Now, the reason it's good is because it doesn't really have that big amount of diminishing returns, and you can stun them quite a bit. But that's a lie. It does have a lot of diminishing returns. Oh, kidney shot. And it can also apply diminishing returns to your other stun as well. I mean, if it does, then it's really not worth it. I mean, the shiver effect is pretty cool. Oh no, they're snared. What are they going to do? It's sacrificing a slow for a stun that applies over time and can apply diminishing returns is not worth it. Doesn't work for PvE, and not really the greatest for PvP. Now, the only reason I'd see it being good is that you can root him in place. And the main spec I'd see it working for is assassination, mainly, because you apply poisons a lot quicker. Now, Prey on the Weak seems to be the best one. When disable an enemy, kidney shot, cheap shot, gouge, sap or blind, they suffer 10% increased damage from all sources. Now, this is decent. I'd switch between this or paralytic poison. When you disable an enemy with kidney shot, okay, cheap shot, okay, gouge, no, sap, no, or blind, no. You're not going to attack someone if they're gouged. You're not going to attack someone if they're sapped or blinded. And when you do, it takes away the effect. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. For the duration of the effect, if you attack someone with gouge, it comes off. If you attack someone with blind, it comes off. If you attack someone with sap on them, it comes off. So it only works for kidney shot and cheap shot. It depends on which one you'd prefer. Seriously, do you want increased damage or do you want increased crowd control or utility? That's your choice. That's for you to make. Now, in overall, Prey on the Weak is probably the only one you can actually get for PvE. Some of these are completely useless for PvE. I mean, dirty tricks might come in handy, the fact that you can gouge or blind an enemy without them having to come out of it, since blind is an official CC now, as it lasts for a whole minute. Anyway, that's your choice to make. Secondly, we got finally, not secondly, that would be secondly, this is finally, you got Shuriken Toss, versatility, and anticipation. Now, Shuriken Toss is a decent being its average. You can get it. It will help in certain situations. PvP, it will help if you're not there. You can't get in melee range. You're running. You're being safe. You're trying to. Oh no, I haven't got any combo points. You can use this to get awarded combo points, and the fact that it's instant means you can use it several times. Which I think is great. Unfortunately, I can't show it you guys because I'm level 90, so. But you throw that, you get a combo point. It's like, sweet, I can heal myself or recuperate, or sweet, I can stun now, sweet, blah blah blah. And that's decent for PvE as well, because you can, if a boss is about to do something and you need to run away, this gives you time to apply combo points before you reach back to him. So, for example, I don't want my slice and dice to come off rotation, so you use that to apply and keep your slice and dice going even when you're not attacking with melee. Great feature. Another thing you can do is apply 5 combo points, get them ready for when you open to apply another bleed on them. That's a great example. Versatility, this both PvP and PvE, mainly PvP in my opinion. Most of the time in PvE, if the trash doesn't die quickly, then you're going to want to use it on bosses, which is very rare that there'll be 2 bosses or targets to switch it to. So it's mainly PvP in my opinion. Because in arena, for example, you're focusing one guy. Oh crap, he's used. For example, if you use it to attack a paladin and he uses his bubble, you want to redirect. Oh no, it costs energy, or it's on cooldown. This will remove its cooldown. The energy is not relevant, sorry. Cooldown, if it's on cooldown and you're like, oh crap, I need to switch it again, it won't be on cooldown. And it is on a 1 minute cooldown. I mean, it's seriously long. So that's incredibly useful for PvP. Anticipation, this I believe is mainly PvE, because PvP you don't really get a lot of situations to take in consideration your combo points. Well, it's decent to a certain extent. I mean, sometimes you'll overlap your combo points, and if you overextend it, your kidney shot, and you still have 3 combo points ready to heal or apply, recuperate on yourself, or keep you up. But The reason I say it's for PvE is because you can be 2 steps ahead of your rotation before you even get there, which I think is great. I mean, it might even allow you to get an extra Eviscerate in, an extra Envenom in before you even hit your second or your next rotation, if you know what I mean, your next bit of rotation. So that's a great ability for PvE and PvP. That's great for PvP, it's okay-ish in PvE, both in great in both. Moving on quickly, going to the new glyphs. I'm going to skip all the ones that are obvious. Adrenaline Rush, I think they had a slight change with a reduced global cooldown on all your abilities for mainly combat, because it is a combat spell. Blade Flurry, we already know this one. This will help you slowing down enemies, but it's really not that necessary. Now, main new one has to be Shadow Walk. Great to increase stealth detections. It puts you in front of the druids in stealth, which is something they do compete for quite a lot of the time. Moving now to Decoy, when you flash, boom, there's a copy of yourself. Sweet. It's pretty cool. I like it. I mean, it's great. It's more of a PvP feature, let's be honest. Like, you're not going to trick a boss with a decoy. It's not going to be like, oh man, where are you? That's you, isn't it? Stab you, because the boss isn't even going to be on your useless for PvE. Detection, I have zero idea what that does. It's probably useless. I mean, seriously guys, don't think about it too much. And Killing Spree, I think this, I don't think it was in Catechism. For example, this can either get you killed or it can save your life. It will get you killed at one point or another if you decide to use it. If you, for example, you're on a Spine of Deathwing and you're here and you're like, ooh, I'm gonna Killing Spree. And you're like, boing, 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 boing. And then you come back here and there's an enemy sitting here and your team is all the way over there. And you're like, heal me, and they're like, where are you? And you're like, I'm all the way back here. And why are you back there? Because my Killing Spree took me here. Yeah, it's really not cool. On the other hand, if you're in PvP, for example, when you're dueling someone or doing arena, and you these are the 2 enemies, and you're over here, for example, and you're in range, you use Killing Spree, and it's like boing, they start moving about, and you're over here, then you teleport back over to your original rotation, and they're like, holy crap, how the hell did you get over there? Then you re-stealth or something, or get some breather. But that can also mess you up, because when you're Killing Spreeing, it's most likely a finisher. You're trying to kill these people, you're trying to finish them off, it's like, ugh, and then your Killing Spree brings you miles away from them, and you're like, the hell, man, what the hell? And you're like, no, come back, and they've got their health back because you're an idiot and you teleported back. So it's not the greatest of glyphs. Hemorrhage, apply a bleed if they already have a bleed effect, so that's a decent feature. Anyway, away from glyphs, most of them are the same as usual. The quick ability I wanted to show you, I think it's freaking cool. Right, you've got these, the poisons, the obvious ones, right, and then you've got Shroud of Concealment. This has a very large range. This will get you past trash mobs. That also will get you through BGs, arenas, hopefully, and it will seriously give you such a strong advantage. I mean, sometimes in PvE you want to skip that crappy trash mob, get your whole raid group in, and get them around it. Unfortunately, that can probably get you killed as well, because there might be one idiot who doesn't stay inside it because they're not following you, like the jackass that they are, or it might run out because it hasn't got the longest of duration. Moving on, we have Shadow Walk, like earlier, increased stealth detection, or effectiveness. I think it's for both of them. And then lastly, we have one more ability. I think it might be Crimson Tempest. It's a new AoE bleed. Now rogues finally have a good AoE for all specs. Watch this, it's freaking awesome. I love it. Just get some freaking combo points going. Sorry, I just used slice and dice. AoE bleed. Now, the reason this is so great is if you apply an AoE situation like that, when you Killing Spree alongside Moderate Insight, I'll bang increase the damage by 50%. Now this means each tick or tick of your bleed will do more damage. Each tick of your poison will do more damage. So once again, I think it's a great feature. I am so sorry this video has dragged on for so bloody long, but there's a lot to get through. I probably even missed out quite a bit. Regardless, I thank you guys for watching. I thank you guys for your time most of all. Please come back to my next video. I'll be doing my hunter next, following down all my classes for a detailed explanation on all of them. Once again, I thank you guys for watching, and like, subscribe. This is Jimmy, and I'll see you guys